Yeah, what's up, man? It's your man, the Triple B, the Base Boxing Basement. Remember to like, hype, subscribe, donate, all that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, as I said, yeah, I've said this many times. There's not a lot of interesting boxing going on for ages. You know, what are you gonna look forward to? Eubank Jr. He's kind of bum. Come on, get out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. However, a fight that has gone under the radar, right, is the fight. It's a super fight for the cuckold, the WBC, the World Boxing Cuckold Championship. Otto Wallin with some bum called Chris Thomas, right? Now, let me tell you about Chris Thomas. He's a tough enough guy, right? The Sandman, he's called. And he turned pro as a middleweight. He's a middleweight, basically. He's a middleweight, right? And only 3 fights ago, he was fighting a light heavyweight. And now he's fighting Otto Wallin in Otto Wallin's comeback fight. Now, Wallin, has left Joey Gamache for a new trainer. Not that it's going to make any difference. Now, what's really funny is this: Otto Wallin, right? He's been based in the United States for ages. Why? Because there's a lot of oil drilling opportunities in the US. I don't know. He should base himself in Ghana or Nigeria. You know, there's a Belgian guy who bragged on banging 600 African women in like a year. So, you know, Otto, that's paradise for Otto Wallin. But he's still in the United States, and he's moved from Joey Gamache. He's left him. He moved to Houston to Ronnie Shields. I've said this often. Like, it's quite good to get a new start, to get a new trainer, to get new impetus. It can lift you, but you know, what's anyone going to teach Otto Wallin? Otto, stop punching like a pussy hole, right? Try and put some power in your punches. Get on the PEDs. I don't want to do PEDs because they're illegal. Okay, guys? So, you know, the weak, soft Otto Wallin is fighting a guy called Chris Thomas. Now, Chris Thomas is, he ain't got a bad record. 15 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. But he is a 5'11" ex-middleweight. Yeah, he's fought a heavyweight a couple of times, and he's got a beatdown. He's got 1 draw, and he got stopped by the big gug in his last fight. You know, and listen, man, if you're 5'11" and you go from 160 pounds to 240 pounds, what does that mean? It means you're a fat, disgusting pig. And let's have a look at Chris Thomas's face. His teeth are brown. Yeah. He looks like the ultimate cuck, which is why they're fighting for the World Boxing Cuckold Championship. And, you know, everyone's allowed an easy fight now and then, especially when you're rebuilding. But, you know, Otto is 34, okay? He's never beaten a decent fighter. No, he beat Murat Gassiev, but that's a cruiserweight guy on a split decision. Apart from that, he gave Fury a decent fight, but only because of the cut. He was dirty in that. Anthony Joshua beat the living daylights out of him. Derek Chisora hit him so hard he flew across the ring like Superman flying backwards. And, you know, Otto, I'm like, listen, man, Otto, I care for you. I don't think you should box. Boxing's not your game. Go back to Sweden, yeah, work for the council or local government and be a cuckold. This is the same guy that pushed repeatedly, the jibber jabber. Hey guys, of course, it's stupid to me not to take the jibber jabber. I've had it, my trainers had it. Why would you not have it? And why bother boxing, Otto? You're a bum. You can't punch your way out of a wet paper bag, yeah? You're a typical Swede, Yeah, every Swedish guy I've met has been weak, pathetic, has had no chat, no conversation. The women are hot. The women are hot, but the women are stupid as well. They just sit there with a stupid look on their beautiful face. They're like a vase, like a Ming Dynasty vase. They look good on the outside, but inside there's nothing. All they do is repeat that programming. I know a guy, right? He was Algerian, and he said he went to see his cousin in Sweden. And he said, Swedish men are the most pathetic people I've ever met. I said, what do you mean? He said, we go to a club, yeah, and there's a bunch of hot Swedish girls hanging out with their Swedish boyfriends and their men. He goes, what you do is you stride up to them, turn your back so the Swedish cuckolds, the men, are brushed out of the picture, and you shut up their women and steal them in front of their very noses. And that's what Swedish people are like. The most pathetic, weak, emasculated pussy holes. And the women are not much better either, I once met a Swedish woman, and she said, hey, the reason that African people, rape a lot of women is because, it's their culture. They express themselves sexually. So it's how they express themselves. I'm like, so excuse me, come again? I'm telling you, they express themselves in a sexual way. I says, right, so it's okay that they're going around raping so many Swedish women. Well, it's their culture. And I'm sitting there looking at this idiot, this foolish, pretty but foolish woman. I'm just like, man, I wouldn't even smash you with another guy's Corey. You are so pathetic. You are weak. But anyway, so Otto's fighting this cuckold for the world's boxing cuckold championship. And to be honest, the world should be more excited about this. Let's find out who the biggest cuckold is. Well, my money's on Otto. He'll probably win on points against an ex-middleweight with brown teeth, with the face of a cuckold, a guy with a face, right, that he's been talked into being cuckolded by his wife, and he's watching Francis Ngannou drive through his wife, and he's sitting there with a stupid look on his face going, Otto, on the Cuck sofa, I kind of wish I hadn't been talked into this. Hey, Otto goes, it's Swedish culture, just enjoy watching the action. Anyway, Otto Wallin, man, I just wish he'd retire. He's pathetic, he's weak, he's a cuck, he's the kind of guy, when he goes to a pub, they'll order a half pint of lager shandy. That kind of pussyhole. So yeah, it would be funny if the other cuckold beats him, but I don't think so. But I don't care either. But I do care who's going to become the world boxing cuckold champion this weekend.